Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Yes, every child is a gift and a challenge, and so-called gifted kids present special opportunities and challenges. Well, here's what I would do if I had such a child today. First, let's start with the definition of giftedness: above average ability to learn, to abstract, and in turn to solve problems. Yeah, some kids are more advanced in the verbal sphere, others in the visual, but there's a perhaps surprising degree of correlation between the two. In the visual domain, though, what differentiates the gifted from the workmanlike isn't in the ability to copy well, but in the ability to create, integrating all sorts of factors, whether it's in an artistic endeavor, in making a device, or in an entrepreneurial idea. Giftedness typically manifests additionally in unusual curiosity about almost everything, and then doing deep dives into a subject. Of course, gifted kids can vary, notably introverted or extroverted, focused or spacey, as well as some occasionally having an emotional problem. Although despite the stereotype, most gifted kids are above average in emotional health. Now let's turn to talking about parenting a gifted child. As with all kids, but especially with gifted ones, who tend to be self-efficacious and more likely to exercise good judgment, I would allow a fair degree of freedom. If my kid was obsessed with dinosaurs for a month, I'd let that ride out rather than encourage balance. Before long, he or she'd be on to some other obsession. If my kid hated piano lessons, which can be very repetitive and mechanical, but loved trying to plunk out tunes by ear, so be it. And yes, if he or she prefers video games to soccer and socializing, I'd honor that. Bright kids can learn to be social enough, and the benefits of allowing the child to self-select their use of discretionary time are great benefits indeed. I would leave plenty of unstructured time for my child to choose his or her own activities. Bright kids especially have a sense of what they want and need at a given time. I recall a gifted and academically motivated child reinvigorating herself every day for a while by knitting while watching cartoons. As a child, I would spend stints staring out the window or lying in the grass watching clouds scud by. And I didn't turn out to be a total slug. One area I'd say I'd give my child only an advisory role would be in choosing a school or class. Generally, kids, even gifted kids, will opt to be in a school or class with friends than one in which instruction is at a far more appropriate level. I would explain to my child that the short and long-term benefits of not being bored in class and being with one's intellectual peers are usually well worth having the hassle of making new friends. Today, especially K-8, ability group classes have been eliminated in favor of egalitarian mixed ability classes. Yet parents may be able to occasionally get their child into a class taught by a teacher who does well with gifted kids. How do you find such a teacher? Speak with parents of other bright kids. Speak with the principal. And, with the principal's permission, walk the school building's halls and listen and maybe even peer into classrooms. Which teachers could you imagine your child profiting from and enjoying? Grade skipping. It's an underutilized option. For the precocious child, counter to the stereotype, whatever social deficits are usually more than compensated for by instruction that's more appropriate. 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, 180 school days of inappropriate instruction? Nah. Just find a teacher who would welcome your child, is good with precocious kids, and who would pair your child with a bright, popular classmate to show him or her the ropes. Then there are special schools, both public and private, aimed at the gifted. Special note must be made for the Davidson Academy. It's in Reno, but there's a virtual version. It's for the profoundly gifted, that is, those with an IQ of 145 or more. I was honored to give a day of talks there, and the amazing kids made that day one of my life's highlights. Finally, there is a chink in the college is a must armor. Even before COVID eviscerated human elements of the college experience, ever more people were questioning whether college was still worth the huge cost and time, given the data finding that college is far from a guarantor of personal growth, let alone of rewarding employment. If my child, like most gifted kids, did well and enjoyed school and was looking forward to college, fine. But some gifted kids have the moxie and intrinsic motivation to derive greater pleasure from the time and money outside the ivy-covered walls. Maybe my child would want to do some self-study or start a business or nonprofit and do some learning alongside that. That's just-in-time learning. Work under a competent ethical mentor, whatever. But that's certainly a conversation I'd have with my child as to what he or she should do after high school. I wouldn't just immediately assume the college thing. The core career question that gifted young adults face is there a way around the materialism-meaning trade-off? Gifted people have an edge in that their ability gives them more leverage in the job market. Still, there often are trade-offs. For example, many successful lawyers who enjoy the challenge and fighting for right still wonder if they might have done more good and had more fun being, say, a writer like ex-lawyers Scott Turow and John Grisham. Then there's the Bill Gates model. Make money where it's to be made, for example, software. Get the rush of building a business and selling lots of useful bits and bytes, and then take most of your profits and use it to donate goods and services that the poor can't afford to buy. I would certainly discuss such options with my young adult child. In conclusion, being the parent of a gifted kid is, well, a gift. You help mold someone with so much potential to make a difference while being a contented human being. It's a pretty noble mission. Just leave plenty of time for yourself. Not only are you entitled to your own full life, the benefits to your child of being a helicopter parent are outweighed by denying your child freedoms that your child is probably better able than most to exercise wisely. In any event, I thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and I especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.